Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today a really special video for you, and especially for those of you that are in North America. I know there's a lot of you watching and I'm really excited because I'm going to be heading to North America, to the USA in September 2024. And to tell you all about that, I've got a very good friend of mine with me, Elizabeth. Thanks for joining me.
Hey, it's so fun to be here. And you're in Australia. So we're on
Yes,
total different seasons, but super. It's always so good to connect with you, Adam.
very much so. Now, Elizabeth, you've been coordinating events for a while now under the name of Squam. What's Squam?
That's a great question. Squam is actually an Abenaki word. So the native people who lived in this country, the Abenaki was the language, and Squam means water. So I kind of always joke, it's Squam Lake is the place where we gather. And I always think, dumb white dudes, Squam Lake is like water, water, but whatever. But it's a place, it's an actual place. And that's the etymology of the word. But what happened was I started this back in 2008. So you can do the math, quite a while ago in September. And I called it Squam Art Workshops because it's just a gathering for creatives of all stripes. It's all kinds of creative endeavors, and it's workshops, and it's at Squam. So that was the name of it. But what happened was, this was back in the blogging days. And so people would just say, oh, I went to Squam. Are you going to Squam? And then it just became Squam. So that's kind of how it goes. And now if you say, I'm going to Squam, people who know it know what you're talking about. So
Yeah. So you do this kind of annual event, and it's happening in September of 2024. Tell us where it is and what's happening.
yeah, okay. So on Squam Lake, which has been very protected, it's really beautiful and rustic, and you can't see buildings from the lake. It's just lovely, and they have a limit on boat sizes, so it's very quiet. And there is an old camp that was built there back at the turn of the last century that families would come up each summer. So there's all these quirky little houses. No house is the same. And then there's these giant dining halls and these beautiful pathways that lead between the whole thing. So it's a whole like little setting where you just come, drop your bags, your meals are taken care of, everything's all sorted for you. And it's called Rocky Wall Deep Haven Camps. That's the name of the place where we gather. And yeah, it's each year is different. I never do it the same. I think, from a business, you're a businessman, from a business standpoint, I probably should just like have the same McDonald's hamburger every year, but that's just not me. So I follow what I'm interested in. And, I read your book last summer, thanks to M. Falconbridge, who gave it to me. And you came and talked to the Squam community, and we all just were like, oh, because we all love our oils. And so I just reached out to you and said, hey, I think you're going to be in the States in September. Would you like to come and offer a workshop? Because you teach all the time, but, it's kind of fun sometimes to do an in-depth in-person. I mean, I don't know. Do you feel differently about in-person versus online? Do they have pros and cons?
Definitely. And I think what I'm looking forward to about the workshops that I'll be teaching there is that it's going to be a small, intimate group that we spend, when people come along, they select a couple of workshops during the event. And so they'll get to spend one day with me. There's only a limited amount of spots, so people need to get in quickly. And I'm going to be able to personalize and interact. When it's in person, you can interact a lot more. People are going to ask questions, and we're going to be diving into. We'll talk a little bit more in a second about what I'm going to look at, but like astrology and crystals and oils, we're going to look at what's specific to you, and that can't necessarily be done online.
That's
Um, that's
Yeah,
where
no,
we can get real
I'm
personal.
with you on that, because so much of it, I'm really excited because you have this beautiful questionnaire. So each of your students, it is a very small group because we want it to be really deep and personal. Each of your students fills out the questionnaire so that you come into the class, you already know a lot of information, but you're so intuitive. I'm assuming as you're in there, you're going to be able to like respond to questions and things that come like, oh, wait, I thought you'd want amethyst, but now I'm really getting this vibe. This is the crystal that might be working best for you now that I know this story of what you've been going through the last year, yada, yada, yada. So the class, for all you guys listening, it's called Everyday Magic. And what Adam has put together to offer us is really looking, I mean, if you follow him, you know he does this all the time in the sense of how do we weave in oils and crystals and astrology and all these really excellent tools to help us navigate the world so that we have more buoyancy, more joy. And we all have challenges. Challenges is life, but how do we navigate them with just a lot more wisdom, a lot more comfort, a lot more understanding. So that's kind of what I was thinking, but that's me juxtaposing on you. What do you think the workshop is kind of about, or what do you think it's going to go?
You summarized it well, but I think my real focus and what I'm really wanting to share more of at the moment and help a group of people with is, you see a lot of when people talk about any kind of aspect of spirituality is, people are standing out there in nature and they're holding their crystal in the middle of a forest and they're doing, making up all these complex blends. We don't always have time for that. We got bills to pay. We've got work to go to. We've got kids to feed, different things like that. So why it's called Everyday Magic is how to bring in little things that are 5 minutes or tweak, whether it be, okay, today always wear an amethyst, or always put that essential oil in the morning, or whatever that may be. I'm going to give you little things that are personalized for you that will help to bring out your natural personality. Yes, we want to go on these beautiful workshops. We want to go get out into the forest on the weekends or on holidays and that type of thing. But a lot of the time, we kind of separate our spirituality when we have time for it, and then we just struggle through the mundane life, needing to get back into the forest. How can we integrate the two? So that's exactly what I want to look at and help to create structures. And because I don't have time to be in the forest every day, even though I'd love to, and I know everyone else doesn't either.
Well, also when you have really integrated those intentional daily moments into your day, just like brushing your teeth, just like doing the things, but you really bring it in, then you are bringing in the magic of the forest into your day. You're bringing in that moment of that centering, right? You keep calling it through your day. And again, as you say, with this workshop, it's so tailored to everybody's needs are different. People are different stages in their life. They're at different points on their journey. And I can't speak to this as well as you can, but like everybody has different energetics, right? So the crystals or the oils with different bodies and, all that stuff. So
exactly. And we're going to talk about being proactive as well. A lot of time people go back to their oils or back to their crystals when they're like, oh, I just can't handle work anymore. What if we could get you to the point where you can handle work because you've already done the prep work? It's like taking our multivitamin rather than our painkiller, because we look after our body while it's well rather than wait till it gets sick. So that's kind of going to be the approach. Personalized oils, astrology, crystals, of course. And probably some other little things we'll get thrown in there as well.
That's the fun of the in-person. You get to be spontaneous and respond to the situation. I mean, you're going to be coming in. Who knows what you're going to be thinking about or reflecting on come September. So that can get woven in. And yeah, I like your approach of very preventative. These are tools as preventative to keep us healthy and well. So we don't have to come. It's so much harder to heal a crisis than to prevent a crisis of health emotions or cool. So is there anything I can answer for you about coming to the lake? How do you feel about walking into a new place? Are you someone that enjoys that, or do you get a little apprehensive of like, oh, what did I agree to here?
I think, as I've been speaking to you, and, for me as a facilitator and also for the people, the guests and those that are watching that are contemplating coming, I think you've created such a beautiful community, and I see that in the pictures and the way you speak about it and other people speak about it, is that, okay, you might come by yourself, but I don't think you'll leave by yourself. You'll make new friends. Did I just make any slogan for you?
You just completely tapped on something that people say. It is a good slogan, by the way. You are a great businessman. But that's actually what happens. Most people come on their own, but they forge these amazing connections. It's crazy, but it happens. And from all over places, like, so yeah, that's it. Yay. All right. Well, you're dialed in. So I hope people have some information. Oh, I should tell them where the website is, right? Or will you put it?
We will put the link below. So if anyone wants to check that out. But give us the website now.
It's squamartworkshops.com. And you want to click on the September retreats. We have a retreat going to Norway, but that's not the one we're going to see Adam at this time, maybe another time, which is kind of magical forest. So keep that on your radar, because I think you would really dig that. But this one is September. So click on the September retreat, and then you can see all the classes, and you can see Adam and all the good stuff. Yeah.
So give us the exact dates.
Oh, yes. So it's September 4th. It's a Wednesday. We arrive, and then we leave on Sunday, September 8th.
And the option will be, if you quick, get in and grab a spot in my workshop, and you then choose the second workshop for another day. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Beautiful. And exactly where in America is Squam Lake?
So Squam Lake is in New Hampshire, and it's about 2 hours north of Boston. So depending on where you are or where you're coming from, if you're coming from Portland, Maine, you're just 2 hours across. If you're coming from Boston, like I said, it's a straight shot, 2 hours. And from New York City, it's about 4.5, 5-ish, maybe. Depends on traffic, depends on the day. And a lot of people come down from Canada too. So they come down from Montreal, and that's about 4.5, 5 hours. Yeah.
Beautiful. So thank you very much for joining me, Elizabeth. And for everyone else, we've, as we said, we've only got limited spots. They're small, intimate groups. It's not like come and sit amongst a group of 50. Where I'm going to work with each of you. There's going to be readings and a whole range of different things in there. It's going to be a really fun event. It's going to be a great getaway, and you're going to have some tools that you can use personally for you. Everyone's going home with different tools. So I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait to see the group that gathers with us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Adam.
My pleasure. Take care. Thank you everyone for tuning into this video. I'll talk to you really soon. Blessed be.